You gotta help me. The Votebots have been here. They took all my books. They tried to comb my hair. They knocked all my ratings down to almost nothing. Ah, Votebots! Votebots, they're everywhere! Hi, atheists. I see a lot of atheist videos complaining about Votebots and then asking other people to vote them high and giving a whole list. These are all people that are being hit by Votebots and go rate them highly. I look at the videos and I'm like, you have 30 ratings total. How many did the Votebot cast, you know? It's a shame because there are real Votebot attacks or real sort of campaign attacks where a group will all target a site and everybody will go vote it down. And I think you become the little boy who cried wolf and you distract from the real situation with that stuff. So knock it off. That's silly. So anyway, as you notice, my books are gone. We're getting ready for the baby, and if there's one thing that's dangerous to have around children, it's books. No, in reality, we're just doing a lot of nesting, so we're packing some stuff up and rearranging things, and some books will be back. But while doing this nesting, I was looking through my records, and I thought it would be fun to share a few records. The first two have nothing to do with atheism. Bob Newhart, and Bob Newhart. It's the button-down Mind Of and the button-down Mind Strikes Back. And you'll notice this one has a ticket. We went and saw Bob Newhart, and I got to interview him. It was awesome. I'll put a link on the information. I can never figure out which side. I think it's this side. Anyway, I'll put a link to the interview that I did with Bob Newhart. It was quite a while ago, but it was great. I mean, he's one of my heroes, and it was so neat to get to talk to him. And then he autographed both records. This is the Music Machine. This is a record that a lot of Christian kids probably have in their home, that I had in my home when I was little. And there's one song that still, whenever I'm being impatient, my wife will start singing, or vice versa. Be patient, be patient. It really gets under your skin. So, yeah, I still really enjoy it. It's a fun record. Do we have any, atheist kids records? Because I don't think Dear God by Ecstasy is really going to thrill a 6-year-old. I guess I'll let you know in about 6 years, because I certainly will play a lot of Ecstasy around my house. You punk fans will especially notice how cool this is, because this band calls themselves The Addicts, and The Addicts were a great punk band. But this version of The Addicts are, how many of them? 9. 9 former drug addicts who go out and... little graphic there. God is like the ultimate methadone program, you know. But the thing I really love about the album is that it's the addicts sing, right? And this dude is preaching to a junkie. But if you look at the top of the building, it's like a big hypodermic needle off the top of the building, which is why it's a really bad idea to go to rehab in Seattle, where their city symbol is a giant needle. Up with People. This is just a fun the sort of Jesus people phenomenon might have started with this, pop culture Christianity on a huge scale, really interesting. And it was a chic television color spectacular. This is Up With People Japan. Sing Out Asia. Now we get to the stuff you're really looking for. This is a wonderful garage sale find. It's Feudin', Fussin' and Frettin' with Jerry Falwell. And look, Falwell's not quite all that disgusting yet. It's like seeing Jabba the Hutt in the re-edited version of Star Wars when he wasn't quite so big, with his happy little family. And Thomas Road Baptist Church in Lynchburg, Virginia. Anyone out there from Lynchburg? Because it might be a nice place, but the name of your town is Lynchburg. What the hell? Jimmy Swaggart there, in his very nice turtleneck leisure suit. The name of the album is You Don't Need to Understand. You don't need to understand. And he says, I never ask the Lord why. And when people ask me that all-searching question, I always answer in the words of the great title song, you don't need to understand. You just need to take his hand. There's something very date rapey about that statement. You don't need to understand, baby. You just need to take my hand. What really scares me about you don't need to understand, because it's a really frightening thing. If you go to your pastor with doubt, and what he tells you is, you don't need to understand. What he says is basically, don't worry your pretty little head about it. Is that a winning statement? Is that something that's going to make you popular? Is that something that's going to get your album A second pressing? Oh my god. Apparently it was a hit. This is the same record, same songs, everything. So, prize in my collection right there. Anyone remember Mike Warnke? Mike Warnke wrote a book called The Satan Seller. He was a Christian comedian, and I was interested in comedy from a very young age, and so excited to find a Christian comedian. And I listened to him, and I'm like, man, this guy was hip, you know? He'd been a Satanist high priest, and his descriptions of being a Satanist high priest are awesome. The Satanist church provided him with 2 women that would do whatever he wanted. All the drugs he could handle. He got to disappear and reappear in other places. I'm looking at that going, man, I hope that I get to be a Satanist high priest before I get locked into Christianity forever. Lucky guy. I mean, at no point did I go, man, that sounds awful. Everything he said turned out to be lies. If you're not familiar with Mike Warnke, it's Warnke. Look him up. Just bilking people for money, for fake victims of Satanism. Just horrendous offenses. And then he was uncovered by, if you're thinking us atheists just went after him, he was actually uncovered by a Christian magazine and taken down. Of course, he's still out there bilking people out of their money now. He has said he was sorry and apologized because, fat white guys who love Jesus are good at that. Kicking up the leg, kind of saucy there. This one, nothing to do with atheism or Christianity, except maybe a little to do with morality. I love this record. This is How to Keep Your Husband Happy by Debbie Drake. Look slim, keep trim, exercise along with Debbie Drake. And the cover is just so beautiful. I want a t-shirt of that, but here's what really makes it. Checklist for keeping your husband happy. Ladies, I hope you're paying attention. 1. Firm and graceful body. 2. Be at home when he arrives. If you must work, try to arrange it so you're home first. 3. Clothes, sexy, for your evenings home. 4. Be interested in him and the things he does. 5. A good conversationalist. I'm really surprised 5 says that and not keep it shut. 6. A bright smile over morning coffee. This paints a good mental picture of you for the day. Nice voice. Keep it soft and musical. Also, a pretty laugh. 8. Excess fat? Taboo. 9. Well-set hair, brushed and clean. 10. Mentally alert, in parentheses, try reading. Pin curls. If they are a must, pin up after the lights are out and wear a bed cap. Perfume, just for him when he's home. 13. A regular manicure. Because guys are really big on that. As Cat Williams pointed out, a lot of guys will be right on the verge of getting down and busy, and then they'll be like, do you have plum fingernails with cherry red toes? Oh God, no, I don't want any of this. 14, a weekly pedicure. I expect some thank you letters from ladies out there who are now keeping their husbands happy who previously couldn't. And then just one last thing, I've had a few Danish fans writing and being excited that my last name is Jensen. It is indeed. So this is for you. Victor Borge, the great Danish comedian. Okay, that's it. I just thought I'd have some fun on this Atheist Church. Couple quick things, please. Listen up. No, get back here. Sit down. Stop clicking on the video in the links there that has boobies. Just stay with me for a minute. Next week, I am going to have a professor from Sacramento State University, a professor of philosophy who's going to talk about a presentation that he does on the case against Christ. And he's not looking at the case for a historical Jesus. He's going to go ahead and operate under the presumption that, sure, let's say, for the sake of this argument, that there is a historical Jesus, let's argue the case of whether or not he was magic and what sources of information we have for his magical acts. So that should be a really good one. I hope you'll tune in for that. And some of you who are not in the States have asked if my record will be available for MP3 download so you don't have to pay outrageous shipping costs. And yes, cdbaby.com. Go to cdbaby.com, look up Keith Lowell Jensen, and you'll find Keith Lowell Jensen to the Moon available as, I think, a $9 or $10 album download. You can also download individual tracks, but a lot of the tracks depend on other tracks in there. So download the whole album, you cheapskate. So please tune in next week when I will have Professor Matt McCormick here to discuss the case against Christ. I wish I had some organ music there. 10. Mentally alert, in parentheses, try reading. That was, in fact, my wife throwing a pillow at me.